All right. Welcome, everyone, to the regular meeting of the Eureka Springs Parks and Recreation Commission. Today is September the 17th, 2024, and it is 6:03 p.m. We'll start with the roll call, but before that, I want to mention that Ruth called in. She will not be here. And Rod Gray is probably on his way. I don't know. But we do have a quorum because there's 4 of us here. So we'll start with the roll call on that end.
Beth Giltner.
Ruth Mitchell.
Aaron Borey.
Mark Ingram.
Sam Dudley.
Okay. And does everybody have seen the agenda and have a copy of the agenda?
Yes.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve?
What is that?
It's feedback.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion by Beth,
I'll second.
second by Aaron. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. All right, and then we have the minutes from the last meeting, which was August the 20th, our last regular meeting. Everybody seen those
Yes.
and have any comments or anything? All right, then do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes of the August 20th, 24th meeting.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Aaron, second by Ruth. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes 4-0. All right, public comments. We don't really have any public. I mean, they're public, but they're here for another reason. But if you were public, you'd be the best public. Then we have my comment, so I don't have, I'm trying to think if there's anything that I have.
I mean, you've been on vacation.
I've been on vacation for 3 weeks, so life is good. I can't complain. So I won't even belabor that one, so I'll say no. And then we have Sam's director's report.
Yeah, so kind of changed the format on it, just made it more like notes for me to go off of instead of trying to write a news article, basically. So at Lake Leatherwood, we got the cleaning contract solidified with Apex Cleaning. Basically what we'll be doing is using their services Sundays and Mondays, just because those are the busiest days for checkouts. So I think last Sunday they cleaned something like 9 cabins or something for us. So we kept them busy. And then the rest of the time, because it is a little bit pricier to use them, we'll use our part-time housekeeper. If there's like one checkout on Wednesday, she can do that. It's not a big deal. So that's kind of how we worked that out. We will have a native plant walk and invasive plant removal day on Thursday, September 26th, from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. It's free and open to the public, anyone who wants to join. This is part of the watershed grant that we're working with. It's part of one of the requirements that we do at least one, I think it's 2 of these events, but like each event is a separate thing. So we'll do one of these in the fall and then one next spring as well. So we go out, we identify some plants, and then later we go remove the bad ones. Look at the good ones, take out the bad ones.
Right.
Juanita, our park manager down at Leatherwood, got organized our first annual Lake Leatherwood Fall Fishing Derby on Saturday, October 5th from 9 to 1. Should be really fun. Arkansas Game and Fish is helping us out with putting that on.
Isn't that also tree giveaway day?
No, that's October 8th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And can you repeat the date of the fishing derby?
Yeah, Saturday, October 5th. And so out
Thank
there.
you.
Oh, sorry.
I said thank you.
Oh.
I'm just trying to type it.
And if, no registration's required, obviously you need to have a fishing license. But if you need poles or tackle or whatever, there will be equipment out there to use. So,
That's very cool.
yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, trying to get kids into the sport. The Arkansas Enduro Series will be hosting a mountain biking event September 27th through 29th. We finalized that contract today. The event will take place at the ball fields and the Mulliday Hollow field, mostly taking place on the downhill trails, as well as a few XC trails on Saturday and Sunday. So that's cool. Gonna be a bunch of mountain bikes there and another big event. It seems like this is like event season or something. Soccer club has begun their fall season with the fall jamboree scheduled for Saturday, October 12th. And then last weekend we helped with the duck hunt for Jeep Jam. So we basically just went out and hit a bunch of rubber ducks for the Jeepers. I don't understand the connection, but we did it anyway. Everyone seemed to love it, so we'll probably do it again next year.
Well, it did get people going to the springs because I saw people going
Yeah.
to the different springs.
Yeah, it's cool. We will probably try to team up with CAPC on it next year and have them, make hundreds of these ducks that we can go hide out on the trails and parks and all that stuff, and then maybe even have little QR codes on the ducks to take them to our website and stuff like that. So. Springs and gardens around town. We completed the in-town trail signage for all the trails and walking paths. And we got our new edition of the pocket maps just in time for hiking season to really kick off. The Crystal Terrace Bridge restoration is complete. So big thank you to the Eureka Springs Preservation Society for helping fund it, and then, Adam Brockett with Brockett Handyman Services for doing the build. Looks great. If you haven't been up there, it's pretty
What's
cool.
the name of the trail that you would be on if you were going over that bridge? Is
I
there an
just named
actual
it
trail?
I just named it Crystal Terrace. It didn't really have a name before,
Okay.
so I figured it was.
Does it connect with another one of the in-town trails?
Yeah, if you
Magnolia.
go up to the top and then it doesn't connect directly, you kind of have to do a little U-E up French Street, but then it connects in the Magnolia path,
Okay.
which takes you all the way up to the Crescent, which is pretty cool. Thank you to Eureka Springs Public Works and Stacy Stonework for pouring the new curb at Harding Spring. We were just getting, every time it rained, it was just constant gravel and debris was flushing into the spring, and it was just like, it was hard to stay motivated to clean it every time because every time it rained, it would get washed out. So they helped us, they funded it, and then Stacy Stonework came and poured it, so it looks really nice and allowed us to put some more flowers in too. So far we have 5 people who've committed to buying a plaque for one of the benches at Basin Park. If you or anyone you know might be interested, please call us at 479-253-2866. Or you could just hit us up on Facebook or whatever. All the funds we raise will go towards a future improvement at Basin Park, so keep that in mind.
And you said that was 5?
There's 5 so far, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
The annual fall tree giveaway will take place on Tuesday, October 8th from 9 to 4 at the Eureka Springs, or really it's like 9 until we run out of trees, at the Eureka Springs Community Center. So big thanks to Peel Compton for funding the event. I mean, they're paying for all the trees. And you can check out the Facebook page for more details. And then last 2 things. Sorry, it's been a busy month. The new truck is working good. Our gardener has been given a new nickname. She's called Maverick. She didn't get it at first, but Top Gun reference. And I've driven it a few times. It's pretty sweet. Yeah. And then I will be going over there tomorrow to get the license plate for it. We just got the title in 2 days ago, so it takes a long time to get there. And then at the Harmon Workshop building, the renovation building that is, we got the rough end plumbing done. So I've already contacted our electrician to start the next phase. So doesn't feel like it, but we're getting there.
Give you something to do in the winter,
Yeah, for sure.
in case you were getting bored.
I'm bored all the time. Yep, that's it for you guys, unless you have any questions.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Sam on any particular item? Nope. Or anything else?
Oh, we were featured in the Eureka magazine too.
Great.
If you didn't see that, they're local magazine around town. So big thanks to the Eureka magazine for
I think it's
doing an article on it, on Lake Leatherwood.
Oh, yeah, it was Leatherwood, and they showed
Yeah.
that picture. At first, I couldn't tell that was Leatherwood. They kind of had it
Yeah.
long ways, and it was like, oh, is that? It's kind of a funny look, but cool. All right, then we'll move to committee reports. Finance Committee, which is Beth and I. I did the reconciliation today, so we're caught up on reconciliations. So there's nothing really to report. Everything's.
Holler at me the next time you do that, so
I
I
will.
can come in and
I do have one issue to go over with you separately outside of this discussion to make sure that either I'm right or I'm wrong on this topic, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. But I just want to confirm that with you. But other than that, that's really all there is. Okay, old business, we have none. So finally, we get to the new business with Victor and Steve here. They're going to discuss items 1 and 2, which are the baseball field renovations and contract with school district for the field usage, and then the signs along the baseball field. Fencing, which they will discuss. We'll let,
Hi.
Do you,
Do you wanna-
would you guys feel more comfortable just sitting at the table? I mean,
I don't care.
you can just do whatever makes you
whatever you
I'm
want
good
to.
with that. I like the
Okay,
audience.
cool.
But Sam, do you want to sort of lead it off by what we're doing?
Yeah, just in case, I mean, I feel like everyone sort of clued in, but if they're not, I mean.
the public
as you-
probably is.
Oh, yeah, the public, yeah. As everyone should know by now, that we have a baseball field at Lake Leatherwood. Obviously, the Eureka Springs School District, we haven't had an official team for 15 years-ish.
9. Well,
9.
we had a team last year, and then
We had
9
yeah.
years before that.
So 9 years prior to this, we just didn't have a team, and so the field has kind of not really gotten the love it needs in terms of providing a venue for baseball games. Obviously, Victor and Steve and Coach Steve and Coach Victor. Just quick little, everyone probably knows Victor. He's works at Turpentine Creek and amongst many other things. And then Steve is a teacher at the high school, correct? Okay, cool. So they're both, affiliated with the high school team, and they put in a lot of energy and love into the program. And last year, as Victor said, they had a team. So they approached me and asked, hey, what would it take to get the baseball field refurbished to a point where they can have their home games there? Because otherwise, they would have to probably go over to Berryville or somewhere else, and that's just sort of tail between your legs when a Eureka kid's got to go to Berryville to play their home game. It's shameful. So, we've just been talking and come up with a pretty good plan, and the school is willing to jump on board, so I'll let them take it over from there.
All right, Victor, just introduce yourself so it's on the speaker here.
Victor Smith, alumni of Eureka Springs High School, but been a community member since '92. So, go ahead.
I'm Steve Johnson. Yeah,
You're on camera.
I don't see it.
Don't worry about it.
And yes, I do work at the school. I've been at the school here in Eureka for 6 years now. I moved here a couple years ago, but I've been in Carroll County for 19 years. So a little bit of a background there, and I don't know what you want to know, but I'm pretty open book with what we're doing and where we're wanting to go with this. So it might be better if we field questions. I don't know, but.
Well, I think it would be a good idea, just have you guys sort of explain
So
what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how this.
So I started coaching youth sports. This is my 11th season now, kindergarten through 6th grade. We hit that weird COVID year. Baseball, sports got shut down. So technically the group of kids that we have right now are a lot of my youth kids that I lost in that COVID area, high school. Right now, today, this last season, we had a team in every single age group, all the way from kindergarten to 12th grade, except for a 7th, 8th grade team, which we're hoping to be able to facilitate that this year as well. We're just trying to bring baseball back in the community, but I've been doing it so long now, my son and these kids I coached when they're kids, now they want to play high school baseball. And 2-3 years ago, I recruited Steve to help me with little kids, and and we just kind of got that wild hair up our butt. We were going to bring back high school baseball, and now we're going into our second season. This year, we're eligible to play in the AAA conference. Last year, we played six games all the way. Our practice fields are not, suitable. They're a softball field. So when we're out there trying to teach kids high school baseball, and then we go to a game and field is way bigger, the positionings and things are, just not adequate to what we do in our practice. And so that said, this year we're able to play in that AAA. We're looking to have 7 to 10 home games, ideally, if we can work that out. There's 6 other teams in our conference, so that would at least 6 games. So hopefully we can pull some other home games, but I'd like to say 7 to 10. The issue with the field is that it has to be 300-foot right and left field minimum for AAA standards, which our field at Leatherwood complies to these standards, but it's going to need some work. Since I do youth, we need a place where we can bring all baseball to and work, and hopefully we're going to bring enthusiasm in female baseball and women's baseball back, where we can start hosting softball. But I would like to reconstruct the field to a Versa field that would be able for all ages to play. So we'd have to rip out the infield for high school baseball standards, about 3 inches off of the top of the field, skim the grass off of it, rebed it with a AAA certified dirt, which is like a clay sand, pulverized dirt. That's going to be our most expensive thing. We've had some help with Mr. Mann at the school, and we're looking around $10,000 just in dirt cost. Luckily, we have a great community. I have Rockwood Construction is going to come out. He's got a small dozer. He can help us do a lot of the work. I've also, since I sent this a week ago to Sam, Dave Biasat also has a construction, and he just jumping on board and verbally is willing to volunteer, and he's got every equipment, dirt pulverizers and all sorts of stuff. So that was huge for us. Ideally, we would set the bases 60, 65, 70, and 90, so we can adapt for that kindergarten through high school. Or so they'll basically it's basically a tin can with a metal pipe in the ground that has a plug on top that'll be in the dirt, and then you can move the bases. So there'll be first, second, and third. There'll be 4 different sets for the bases, so you can adjust that. And then with a portable pitching mound, my 3rd graders are pitching at 46 feet. My high schoolers are pitching at 60.6 feet. So by having a portable pitching mound, we can move that in and out to the right size lengths for each group of kids. And, softball doesn't have a pitching mound. They have a circle with a flat base. If that's something that comes back, hopefully in the future, then the field will be ready for that. The first base dugout, the roof's off of it. I'm sure most of you have seen that. The school skills program, or building trades, and Parks are hoping to work out a deal there where Parks funds the materials and the school comes and does the labor, and it's kind of a win-win. It's a learning experience, and we get something fixed, and labor's cheap on on a learning curve. So I think it's a real good opportunity. I'm on the board of the community centers, so we've had the skills group come and do big projects at the community centers over the years, and we've had a lot of success with it. So hoping to see that. Simple things like tree trimming, behind the fence, outside, it's kind of grown up. I was hoping to maybe shoot for a volunteer day or something like that, where we can get the community together and clear brush or, something like that. The scoreboard, it works, we found out. Roughly might need a couple lights changed in it. So pretty fair deal there, hopefully. Bleachers, that's, kind of a cost to be determined. What do we want to go there? Do we need to offer it the first year? I don't know. Can we move it from the soccer field temporary? There's multiple options, so it's not a huge cost. I don't think at this time. I think the main focus is getting the field playable. Like to take that infield dirt, we can recycle a lot of that to the outfield and whatever we in the bullpens and rebuild the bullpens with that infield dirt that we dig out. And then also, if there's leftover, it'll be great for flower beds or fill around parks, you know, so it won't go to waste. You know, a media booth, I think that may be a requirement in AAA. I'm not 100% sure. We might have to build some type of table setting. It might be able to just be a pop-up tent, you know, behind, who knows? I don't really know. We're still determining those things.
Yeah, is that for the person announcing the game or?
That, and also in AAA, you got to keep true books, so that get
okay.
reported.
I got
So
you.
generally, you would have somebody that's doing that.
Yeah.
Usually like an
Hopefully, we
official's
get the
table
local
or something.
radio to come out and broadcast the game. You know.
That'd be cool.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
that's where we can go. They do some of the high school basketball, and maybe we can take that step. I haven't really thought about that.
Yeah.
So, and obviously the money. That's where it's going to cost some money to do this. The portable pitching mound, $4,500 for one of those. It's not a cheap thing. We've got the verbal pledges from the school. There's a contract in the works. I'm sure they've seen that.
Yeah, that's what, that's going to be our,
Okay.
It's our
Next
main
vote.
So
position.
there's a contract in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
works with the school that we'll be talking about, but also the Crescent and Basin have pledged $3,500 to go directly to the baseball field. Arvest said 3 to 5. He confirmed and said that he would do $3,500 to match the Crescent. And then Rockwood Construction, Turpentine Creek, I think it's A1 Excavation is Dave Biasat. And then Wicker Walker has said that they'll do a one-time buy on a sign initiative fundraiser that can be a sustainable fundraising option for parks to maintain the field over the years. They're a 2x4 metal sign that would go on the outfield fence, hoping to sell those to locals. I have over 20 verbal commitments to these as of right now. I didn't put that out there because it's I can't really sell something that you guys haven't voted on. So I verbally have over 20 commitments, and our plan is to have the high school team solicit those signs. They're $350 a sign. Wicker Walker's willing to do that at cost, which is, she said probably $40 to $50. So I'm saying $50, and the other 300 would go directly back into the field. If we did 40 signs, that's about $12,000 after the initial sign cost. That could go back in the field, but is a renewable on a one-year basis. So next season, hopefully we can resell those signs and have some money to maintain the field, or potentially add in a batting cage or equipment shed, or, just to give it some sustainable life. As long as there's high school baseball, and I think that's what me and Steve are striving for, and, having a group all the way down to kindergarten is, I feel like we have some sustainability there. Now, if we can get some sustainability in the field, is going to be great for the community and the school. So,
Yeah. Has everybody looked at the contract that Sam sent around? It's not a big ordeal. It's sort of
not a lawyer, but
almost like a gentleman's agreement, as it should be. We are all at the same community. We're not trying to do anything to each other, but just trying to make sure everything's in order so that nobody's confused as to who's doing what.
expectations are clear.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's really what we're trying to accomplish. I, for one, can't imagine a better scenario than getting that field used and having kids out there on that ball field. I don't think there's anybody that could disagree that that would be a great thing for the community. So I'm all about it, but everybody can talk about it. There was a couple of changes that I think, Steve, you sent in to Sam.
And it should have been, I updated them on the Dropbox file, yesterday evening. So
Yeah,
I was
so-
hoping that was enough time. Just
They
look
were
it over.
pretty simple, but one was if for some reason we don't live up to our side and they've already paid us the money, we refund them back the remaining money,
Fair.
and which is fair. And their second one had to do with
Is the
Practices,
semantics
right?
of, like using it for, the wordage the verbiage I put in there was like, obviously we'll schedule their practices too, but I just put it in there that it's going to be, the expectations are for games. You know, I mean, I don't think the AAA cares what kind of field you practice on, but the games have to be.
Yeah, you don't have the chocolate lines for practice.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of where I was, but I clarified it a little bit.
In my
Mr. Mann-
experience overall, there's not a lot of competition for the actual baseball field right now, is there?
Well, I mean, the
The
soccer
soccer field
club uses it, but I mean, I think that'll be a conversation we'll have to have.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's obviously 2 other soccer fields, and we can.
Hand them a list of dates and say, these are the dates, and these are
Yeah.
the times on these dates that baseball
Correct.
teams can meet it. Cool.
Kudos to you guys. I'm excited that somebody's doing this. That's one thing I've thought was lacking in Eureka Springs was youth sports, so,
They are very lacking. So
yes, so.
if you ever want to volunteer, I'll have about 70 kids for basketball here in a couple weeks.
I will definitely be at the basketball game. The other thing that I would say, I have about 19 great nieces and nephews and try to go to a lot of their stuff. And it's not uncommon to have people bring in their lawn chairs. So if we don't have bleachers on day one,
Exactly.
you know, we just need to announce, bring your chairs. you
I
know.
sat
So
through hundreds
there's a
of
place
games
for
and
them.
never
to
sat in
put
the
those.
bleachers. I brought my chair.
Yeah.
Preferred my chair over the bleachers.
Yeah, most people do actually. And if they're ball kids' parents, they're used to this. You know, they have their chairs with them. So that would probably, I would agree with
I
you.
have every ass cushion you could possibly think of. Every style gym, sure you go. I have my own cushion. I'm bringing it.
Exactly. So yeah, Ruth,
So,
I know you were at the meeting, so you heard everything. Do you have?
But I do have questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to thank you all for your hard work and very impressed. But I do have a couple of questions. Is this an annual contract to be renewed every year?
It's on a 2-year contract
2-year, okay.
with the school.
Okay. And I guess my question for you is $5,000 enough for us to maintain it to the level they need?
I would say yes. Yeah, I mean, we already have someone hired to do the work who's already out there mowing.
What
The
about the-
$2,500 would be just for chalking lines and, you know, maybe doing a little bit of touch up on the dirt to make sure the grass doesn't grow back.
And that's obviously our responsibility. What
yeah.
about the lights? I'm concerned that those are expensive. Have we checked into
The
what
light usage,
the lighting? What
yeah,
those-
it is a little pricey.
Actually, the hardware for it.
The what?
The hardware, the lights themselves when they burn out?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just running the lights is a little bit expensive, but I wouldn't imagine, I mean, y'all aren't going to really be using them
I mean,
except for
we
games.
might use
and,
the lights one day a week for practice once, you know, daylight savings time happens. But once
Yeah.
season kicks in, most games are not reaching into the dark hour, so they're not going to be on long, I wouldn't reckon to do.
I mean, it's hard to predict when
Yeah.
you will and won't use the lights. The games we had last year started either at 4 or 4:30, depending on where we went and how far we had to drive. And so time-wise, some of those games can be cut short if there's a big run differential. But maybe cloudy weather or keeping them on for a couple hours during a game. But I don't see an extended use. But how long those last, I know nothing about those. I don't know what they cost to replace. I've not looked into that.
Yeah, and there are grants, I think we
Yeah.
spoke at the workshop that you can get with.
Yeah, we've talked about the grant. Carroll Electric has
Carroll
has some
Electric, yeah.
grants out there that, you know, might be able to be tapped in. They just did, I think, all of the lights at the Green Forest Stadium when the tornado hit it. I think a grant got them back in their lights from Carroll Electric. So don't quote me on that, but there are some grants, and somebody was working on trying to get Van Pelt relit a couple years ago through Carroll Electric because woodpeckers did holes in all the wooden posts and they weren't safe, so the school came in and had Fanning's Tree Service come and take down and cut the poles down where they wouldn't fall, you know, and damage the fence or something like that out there. But I do know there's potential there, so.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, it may or may not. I feel confident that it is enough, but I mean, it's a short enough contract where it'll allow us to kind of assess, you know, like, okay, what did it actually cost us, and what did the community get out of it as well? You know, I mean, even if we're not totally reimbursing all of our costs, it's like we are providing something that's pretty invaluable. I mean,
Yeah, which is also a key element of Leatherwood specifically.
Yeah.
Is recreation. I mean, that's a key element of our true mission. And
specifically the ball fields.
there-
Yeah.
You know, it's very specific. I would venture to say that we probably haven't had enough experience in our time with those lights being on any definite period of time. I mean, because
Yeah.
I mean, I've been here 8 years, and there hasn't been a team in 8 years playing out there in the, you know, at nighttime, or really, I don't recall ever seeing them on except for maybe
Jamboree.
Jamboree.
That's the first time I've seen
You
it
know.
on in forever.
Yeah.
So it may be a learning experience here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's 2 years, so if we come back
Yeah.
2 years later and we're like, hey, we definitely want to renew it. However, we found that some of the costs were a little bit more than we initially thought they might be. Maybe we can, you know, kind of
We'll
renegotiate
Well, also,
the
there's
terms.
this initial cost that they're putting into it, investing into it on top of
Yeah.
that. So that sort of makes this first 2 years sort of a whole different thing than the third year. You know,
Yes.
once we're up and running and everything's going and the initial investment's done, then we do look at it again and see, one, did it take off? You know, did it do what we wanted it to do? And two, is, you know, what does it look like now?
Yeah.
On the third year. So, I mean, I think it's going to definitely be a couple of years of
Yeah.
Yeah.
building these teams, getting
At worst, we take
momentum going.
a tiny loss, you know, at worst.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling we're gonna have
Exactly.
to break
But
even.
that's a
at
good
least, so.
question.
Yeah.
You have another question?
Well, also,
That was your only question?
the sign
You have another
program
one?
also gives.
Yeah,
you know,
the sign
potentially,
program is the big thing.
Hopefully, at least $10,000 a year back to parks. That's going to parks, not the school, or
Yeah.
that's going to parks for the field. So hopefully that can
Yeah.
help with, you know, the
Oh, yeah.
maintenance if there is an offset.
For sure.
Yeah.
What baseball will do for parks, 100%, is going to bring about 80 to 100 kids into parks multiple days a week for 5 months out of the year. And every kid has somebody that picks them up or somebody coming to watch a practice that's going to walk the track and be down there, but also has a little brother or sister, you know, so the potential for, you know, an extra 100 to 200 people in parks in the middle of the week, you know, for 5 months out of the year is, I feel like, pretty incredible for
Absolutely.
for that. So
At the end of the day, that's our mission. So
Yep.
I think everybody would be pretty excited to see that. I would love to drive down through there and see that act.
exactly.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
just love to see
Beautiful.
that all the time. So,
Prettiest scenery in the country for
I
a baseball
love it.
field. I mean,
does anybody else have any questions about the contract or any issues with us going ahead with it? Then does somebody want to make a motion to approve it, or?
I'll make a motion to approve the contract for the high school baseball field, usage of the baseball field.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Beth, second by Ruth. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. All right, 4-0. So that gets our contract done.
thank you guys.
The next big thing here, though, is the sign. So the signs, you talked already a little bit about that. One thing I was just wondering, you said
2 foot
2 by
by 4 foot.
Is that enough size?
I feel like it's a fair size. You know, obviously we could go into a program where we sell multiple sizes of signs for different prices and things like that, and give premier spots to Joe Blow that, you know,
Yeah.
paid more money. But I feel like for what it is, a standard size sign for all, and it's not like a huge ask from somebody in the community. Obviously, Arvest Bank and Basin and Crescent and, you know, and the volunteers that are putting the time and effort want a sign out there or put the money, you know, they're paying more than their sign fee.
We could also rethink that the next year.
Right.
And go,
Well,
like,
the
just-
next year they will make another
Yeah.
contribution. It's
Yeah.
a year-to-year basis, and
Yeah.
that's the deal with the sign. And if we could there's potential at a 2x4, there's potential to put roughly around 80 signs. At 350 after sign cost, you're talking $24,000 a year. That is huge
go a long
numbers for a small town farm field that hasn't, really been used.
Right.
My goal is if I could do 40. If we could get 40 signs this year to initially help us get this baseball field, plus the pledges that we have here submitted, that'd roughly give us around $20,000 to $25,000 in money that didn't have to come out of Parks' account to get this field going. Obviously, there's going to be some headaches and hoops, and how do we structure that where we can sell the signs and we want the money is, the checks are being written out to Parks, obviously, but, when we need to buy the dirt, I'm going to go through Sam's. There's just some logistical things. Like on the generic sign form, we can use that if you guys like, or Sam can create a new one for us to go with. But generally, our plan was to put these boys that want this field as bad as we do out there. We got 28 kids.
Wow.
That's way too many for a high school baseball team, but they're there. And when we started this, we were told we weren't going to get enough kids, and I laughed at people because I said that's not the case here. And we're in our first season. We had 21 started, ended up with 18, 17, 20 and 18 at the end of the season. This year we've already got 28, 29 kids showing up to practice one day a week, months before the season starts. So, hopefully a lot of those kids are going to hang in it, and we're going to get some improvement going. My plan was to kind of make a competition between groups of the boys and get them out there on the streets and go in teams and who could sell the most signs. And, we're still working on kind of the structure. I've gone through, me and Sam have created a list of potential businesses. And then, we both grew up here. We know everybody in this town. So it's very easy for something like this, especially at a smaller price that people are like, this is a good cause. I can afford this. That's why I wanted to make that sign market, lower to do that. And,
I agree. I don't have a
4
problem.
foot, that's pretty decent on that outfield fence. The fence, I put painting in there.
It's like half of you and
Yeah.
it's half you and Coach Steve's height.
Yeah. It's like half of us.
It's like me.
Okay, let's, just so that we're clear on this, and I want,
Yeah, that's why I put it on.
because
We all like it, but I'd like to know that.
who has to handle it?
Yeah.
If it's us that are gonna order the signs and pay for it, then we have to make a motion. If it's the school that's gonna do it, then y'all just do it. And
It's y'all that would have to do it. The
Okay.
money, the way the format of the one that I created was money, checks would be written to Parks. I would collect them, probably send my kids out, collect the checks. On the form, Kate Wicker Walker said to put her email on there. And then when we sell the signs, she's aware of it. They're gonna just email their logos to her directly. That way we don't have to work. And then once we get whatever, hopefully 30 or 40, say, by the first of the year, then she'll start making them and have them ready for the season to start. And then they'll hang on the fence until the following year. If the quality of the sign is a little bit better, she wanted to go with this quality of sign because it's a metal backer, be whatever grommeted on 4 corners, all 4 corners, not going to sway in the fence, not going to rip, but the quality of the vinyl is going to be hopefully a 2 to 3 year vinyl. So, we can restructure the fundraiser next year, if we want to go less, if you have a sign or more, there's multiple options, but I think that people in the community are going to be more willing to throw $350 out there than asking everybody, 5 or 6 people. It just kind of brings us as a whole to get more people involved, I think.
so that's really what we need to make. We need to approve a $350 rate for signs.
For 2x4 signs
For
to be
2x4s.
printed by, well, I guess it doesn't matter who's printing them, but at a cost of, what is it per sign?
She said roughly $40 to $50, but
I
she would do it at her cost.
I don't
Okay.
think that we have to get into the detail of the cost of all that as far as our motion goes. we need to approve
The sale
the sale
and
of
installation
signs
of
and
a sign.
and installation of signs at $350 per, in essence, advertiser,
So,
right?
but it's kind of muddied now. I'm not sure where this money's going.
The money's going to eventually end up from one of our hands to Sam.
Yeah, it's going to go into the, it's going to go into parks.
And then when we need the dirt and we raise the money in there for the dirt and the dirt comes, you know, ideally for me, November is kind of what we're hoping. You know, if we get this going now, gives us over a month to get the sign money raised, collect these other oral, verbal commitments, and then, and, you know, have $10,000 or $15,000 that, you know, Parks has already deposited and delegated for this. And then we start ripping.
So it's a capital improvement that we're financing with the signs, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, in essence.
Yeah,
I mean,
in essence, yeah,
these are really,
capital improvement.
it is, I would say, I don't know if it'd qualify in accounting terms as a capital improvement or a maintenance expense, but in essence, that's exactly right. That'll all get funded, and and if I say this wrong, correct me, because I want to make sure it's kind of clear. We'll all get together and sell these signs, right? And the local businesses will all pay their fee, whether they hand the checks to you guys or to us directly, it doesn't matter, with their form. We will take that form and the check, and we will deposit it into a separate account number for us that's specifically for the park, for the baseball field. And they will come to us with requests of what they need for the baseball field, and we will authorize and pay for it. Is that?
That sounds-
Yeah, all the financial stuff should go through Parks.
Through Parks,
Yeah, just
right,
because
okay.
it's our property. So,
I like that idea, and does that make sense?
It does,
Okay.
it's more clear now, thank you.
All right, so anybody have any other questions about that?
Yeah, a little startling.
Do I have a motion then?
I'd like to make a motion to approve a $350 sign sponsorship fee per advertiser business.
All right,
I'll second that motion.
motion by Aaron, second by Beth. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0, motion passed.
Do we specifically need to say for that it's for the baseball field fencing? I mean, just,
I mean, yeah, probably the motion should include that in there.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Hang on one second. Let me just-
Exclusive-
we don't want signs everywhere.
Exclusively.
We did, yeah, no, we're not putting signs everywhere.
2x4 signs all over the Basin Park.
We'll put them everywhere. We'll put them everywhere if people want to buy them. Put them on the trail. Okay, so,
You want me to read?
no, I mean, we're okay, just, I think we're good.
So,
I made the
question for
correction on
me.
the minutes.
So, once the money's collected, like say from the donors that are delegating to that money will also go into that field account as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Any money that's going to be specifically for the baseball fields, we could put it into parks, and it won't be a separate bank account necessarily, it'll be a separate
but
account
an
within
itemized
our accounts.
Number, yeah.
And that will be restricted to the baseball field.
Perfect. And then, I guess that's it. That's all I got.
All right, does anybody have any other questions for them? Hey, thank you guys for all that work. We're all fired up about it.
One more question. If, on these signs, so if somebody paid for one sign 1 year and didn't pay for the next year, you take the sign out?
Yeah.
Okay. and-
It's either it's annual sign fundraiser, and that's the point. We want to raise that hopefully 10 grand every year to go back into the field and make improvements or
And if
whatever.
it's deteriorated after a year, you have a rule about,
And that's kind of we're doing 350 this year. Do we go ahead and do 350 next year? And then, if the sign's deteriorated, then we might have to spend that money off the top, but, we're still probably getting $275 per sign. at
I would think,
350.
I would think as a business, if I sponsored $350 for a sign this year and it deteriorated, and then I go next year to sponsor $350, a new sign is going to be just as if it was a new business coming in. So if a new sign's required, it's going to be replaced. It's
Right.
not just writing a check, I would think.
Yeah, and that's up to y'all. I just
Yeah.
wanted to kind of put this into
I
play.
say we wing, I say
Yeah.
we wing that when the year goes by. We see how that.
I'm pretty
how
good
this
at
looks.
raising money.
Yeah, I think
for
the
good
initial-
causes.
The initial
Yeah.
sign
It's out.
purchase.
People like to give money.
Exactly. That's the best sales
The
tactic
players,
right
especially if you
there.
have
Either know somebody or send a kid out. People can't turn away kids, especially
That
for
a
good
lot of
causes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you all.
I mean, very, very well done, very
Thank
well
you.
put together. I know that I talked to Rye, and he was pretty excited about looking at softball leagues too, and just,
Oh, I really think that would be a great thing. Once the field's established, the school's using it for 4 to 5 months a year. We're using it 1 day a week, 2 days a week, other times. But man, it's a great opportunity to bring the community together by hosting a league or something of a softball or ragball, different, company teams or
Right.
whatever. It's a great way to involve the community, get
Absolutely.
more community down to parks and utilize the field in the other months that it's not being utilized. So
perfect. Thanks again, Victor. Thanks,
Thank you,
Steve.
guys.
Appreciate you guys both. All right. Everybody, we're down to commissioners' comments. Beth, do you have anything?
Got a couple. First off, I'm real excited about the baseball field and the team development. It is just, this town is lacking for anything for kids to do that's a really healthy pursuit, and this is fantastic. And kudos to you guys for the bridge completion.
That,
The
okay,
parks,
yeah.
the parks employees. And I love the rendering that you've done for the trail in, the new trail up in Basin Park,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
the potential.
The rendering.
That.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
I'm hoping we can make that happen.
Lots of exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Ditto. That was
That was- Aaron,
Nothing?
any more?
No, yeah, I'm excited too. I mean, it's cool. I mean, I really am looking forward to going down there and watching a game. It just seems like such a
Me too. I
fun
mean, just
thing
think
to
about
do.
the little kids that don't know they want to play. By going down there, watching their siblings play and stuff like that, it'll fire them up to want to play when they're old enough to play. And
yeah.
that builds generations of kids wanting to do that.
Yep.
last time I was at a Parks Commission meeting, I was like, it was probably 98, 2000, when me and one other guy were petitioning for the skate park in That was the last time I was at a Parks Commission, so.
You always get what you want, man. You always get what you want.
2 for 2. That's funny. All right, then do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion by Beth, second by Ruth. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Good job, guys.